Emily, thank you. The war with Iran starting to impact Wisconsin farmers just weeks before this spring planting season. And now lawmakers on both sides are looking to bring transparency to fertilizer prices with a new bill. Prices for fertilizer components have risen 25% in less than a month. That extra cost alone is forcing some farmers to reconsider what they will grow. Wisconsin Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin and Republican Senator John Thune of South Dakota introduced the proposed Fertilizer Transparency Act of 2026. This bill would require the Department of Agriculture to collect and publish data on fertilizer prices from manufacturers on a weekly basis instead of yearly.
This really lifts the veil behind the price of fertilizer by asking for granular detail on the components. This would include things like information on the wholesaling of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and other fertilizer products.
This bill now goes to the Senate Committee on Agriculture.